Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 107th episode of Tone's Take, where we talk about, things that are happening in the world. And one of the things that caught my eye today is this apparent rodent problem in New York. Yeah, new viruses, superbugs found in study of New York house mice. This is why I'm glad I don't live in the Big Apple, because y'all have big problems, big rodent problems. I'm just reading a CNN article, and this is just talking about how there are bacteria causing life-threatening human illnesses. Some of them are even antibiotic resistant, and it's been found in their mouse droppings and things like that. That's just terrible. But perhaps something that all of us have to worry about is this. These are airplane seats. These are upright airplane seats. That means you basically kind of like straddle these things like you're a cowboy. Can you guys see this? You straddle it like you're a cowboy. Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that. But apparently there's this manufacturer, this Italian manufacturing. I don't hate the Italians, but this is going to make me really hate the Italians. The fact that they're pushing this is called the Skyrider 2.0, and it's a design proposed by AVO Interiors, and it was unveiled at Aircraft's Interior Expo 2018. And it's basically supposed to allow the airline companies to have 20% more passengers on their plane. Yes, let's make all of our planes look like transatlantic slave ships. Yeah, that's a good idea. But what I really wanted to talk about today is, of course, as many of you know, it's been happening in Syria, and with the U.S. doing those missile strikes over the weekend in response to a chemical attack. But what just came out today is that the senators on the Capitol have introduced a new war power resolution, and it's pretty interesting because this is a war power resolution that was authorized by Congress back in 2001 and 2002 for the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. So they trusted George Bush Jr. enough to give him war powers, and on this day in which George Bush's mother has passed, my condolences to his family. But they gave Bush these powers, basically these emergency new war powers that were 2001, 2002, and now they're talking about taking them back, which tells me one huge thing. They are really worried about Trump and his mental capacity to be president. So it's a new resolution from leaders on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee to authorize the use of military force overseas, and it's accelerating debate in Congress that have been reluctant to have these conversations, taking on new urgency after President Trump's attacks, or strikes, I should say, in Syria. So it's being supported by Republican Senator Bob Corker, as well as Democratic Senator Tim Kaine, who, as many of you know, was the vice presidential running mate for Hillary Clinton. And yeah, we'll basically remove some of these provisions that were given to Bush, these broad authorizations, where basically the president could just go and plan and make an attack without real feedback from Congress. The new resolution would not provide congressional authorization for the airstrikes that Trump ordered in this case, with coalition forces in response to an alleged chemical attack. So had this not been on the table before, Trump would not have been able to attack Syria without congressional support. Now, there is Paul Ryan. There's always the Paul Ryan issue. House Speaker Paul Ryan said today that Trump already has existing authority for limited strikes in Syria, and the GOP leader panned the bipartisan citizen effort, declining to commit to a House vote, of course, because it's Paul Ryan. Ryan said his criteria for supporting new authorizations for military force is, can a AMUF, which is the authorization for use of military force, make it into law, and does it tie the hands of our military behind its back? Now, I don't think it does, because, again, our use of military force should be primarily used to protect us, because we are paying money to our military at this moment to protect people in other countries. And yes, there is good and bad to that, because what could happen is you get a Rwanda situation, a genocide situation. But newsflash, there's a genocide that's happening, and the country now is Myanmar, I believe it is, with the Rohingya refugees. There's things happening right now, and we're not doing a thing about it. Not that I know of, at least not on the scale of dropping bombs on people and facilities in Syria. Granted, they haven't used chemical weapons, but it is a literal genocide happening in the Southeast Asian country of Myanmar. and we're not doing a thing. So why should a president be given these powers to act unilaterally? It shouldn't, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think. Again, this article from the Washington Post continues. It was time to act, Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said Monday in support of the Syria mission. So he says, you know what, the U.S. had to act. We had to stop Syria. And there's still debate whether we actually did anything, despite Donald Trump tweeting mission accomplished. Obviously noting that George Bush stood under a mission accomplished sign when we did our shock and awe attack in Iraq after, and we all know what happened after that. So it's just interesting to see when we decide to act and when we don't decide to act. What are our true interests? And, it's not really that we are attacking because we're trying to protect ourselves. There are other interests at play. And giving one person the power to make these sort of plays is too much power in my mind. So others say even the limited responses beyond the president's commander-in-chief authority because the U.S. was not facing a direct security risk. And that's what I agree with. Mostly, lawmakers have insisted that the Trump administration cannot engage in prolonged or repeated incursions without consulting Congress on its broader strategy. President Trump's actions still raises the constitutional question of his authority to unilaterally attack another nation without congressional authorization, says Dick Durbin, Democrat from Illinois. And it is time for Congress and the American people to engage in a national debate about the authorization to use military force in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. And to me, I say we need to stop. But we live in a world where the military-industrial complex rules, and the people that build the bombs and build the missiles and build the subs and build the boats and build all the tech that is used in military need that to survive and thrive. We need that. I mean, it's the same reason why automotive companies were too big to fail. Too many people are employed, and too many people make profits, and too many people are just tied in to that system, and too many people are tied into the military-industrial complex. If we stop dropping bombs on places and we're not using those bombs, then there's no reason to manufacture bombs. There's no reason to contract. And next thing you know, all those companies are falling by the wayside, people are unemployed, and then what happens when a war actually does break out, when there is a real threat? Then we have no way to actually protect ourselves. So it's a really interesting situation that we find ourselves in, but I definitely don't think this is a situation where we should be giving a president direct powers anymore. 9/11 happened a long time ago now. It was 17 years ago now. This year, 2008, will mark the 17-year anniversary. I think it's time to take back those powers that we've given to presidents and make sure that when we do go into war where it's not a direct threat to us, or when we do need to make action, that we actually have a president that consults with the leaders that we have elected all across the country, and not just leave those powers in the hands of one person. But let me know what you all think. As always, I love to hear your thoughts, your comments, your opinions, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace out. Drop my music.